Some people have been asking me why it matters that the police are allowed to lie to you. Well, one answer to that question is false confessions. The Innocence Project has had over 250 convictions overturned based on newly discovered DNA evidence. Of those 250 some cases, 25 to 30% of those cases also involved a false confession. Bear in mind, 250 doesn't sound like a lot of cases, but those are just the cases that there was DNA evidence to test. Most cases don't have any DNA evidence. So you can sort of start to question just how many people are in prison who didn't actually break any laws. Now, some people might say, well, why would somebody confess to the police if they didn't actually commit a crime? And the answer is really simple. It's just a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding the system. Because the police can lie to you, they can ask you to come in for questioning about a case, and you'll say, oh, well, do I need a lawyer? And they'll say, no, it's just we just want to ask you some questions, just clear some stuff up. And at that point, you're not even guaranteed an attorney because you haven't been arrested, you haven't been read your Miranda rights. So a person who, again, may not be particularly savvy about the criminal justice system and the way it works might go in to talk to the police, and the police will start asking questions about a particular crime. They will suddenly come up with evidence. They will say things like, well, we have 2 eyewitnesses who place you at the scene, or we found your DNA on the victim, or your fingerprints are all over the place. And they'll start asking you to explain how all of these pieces of evidence, came into existence. And when you don't have an explanation, they'll say, listen, we want you to be able to go home at the end of the day. This was probably a big misunderstanding. We know you're not the bad guy here, and they'll make you think that if you tell them what they want to hear, that you'll be allowed to go home. And that's not true. So a person might start to answer questions in a way that explains why maybe there was DNA evidence or someone saw them there. And the next thing you know, that person is stating that they committed a crime that they didn't actually commit. And once the police have that confession on the record, all of a sudden they're ready to read you your Miranda rights, and they're ready to arrest you. And at that point, it's too late. Even if you go back, even if you go to trial and it turns out that there are no eyewitnesses, there is no DNA evidence, there are no fingerprints, nothing was on camera, they still have your confession, and they are allowed to use your confession. And many, many juries have come back with guilty verdicts based on false confessions and nothing else. So it's because of this that it matters that people know that the police are allowed to lie. Protect yourself. Make sure you know how the system works, and know how to stand up for yourself.